Tonight, Attorney General Jeff Sessions now launching a review into shocking allegations that the Obama administration let the terror group Hezbollah off the hook in order to secure the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. Our top story, Attorney General Jeff Sessions ordering a Justice Department review of an Obama administration bombshell, the DOJ, to look in new allegations that the Obama administration gave a free pass to Hezbollah's drug trafficking and money laundering operations in order to secure the Iran nuclear deal.
So everybody loves to spend. Let me ask you about this news that we just got. Attorney General Jeff Sessions directing a review of the handling of that Cassandra case, Project Hezbollah.
Look, this is a Politico story that really went after the Obama administration a couple days back and said that they basically went lightly on cracking down on a drug ring run by the terror group Hezbollah, all because President Barack Obama wanted to save the Iran nuclear deal, one of his signature achievements that President Trump has said is a disaster. Obama officials are saying the story was exaggerated, but today the Attorney General Jeff Sessions said the Justice Department is going to look into it. Look, the bottom line is you have a lot of Democrats saying that the Republicans are just trying to distract attention from the Robert Mueller investigation with these various probes. But the fact of the matter is you hear people in the White House saying you have to follow the law and you have to follow the ethics. And if there was wrongdoing in the Obama administration, if there was wrongdoing with Uranium One and the Clintons, this Justice Department is going to go after it.
Yeah, although the American people see, when will we see results? But there you go. Ed Henry.
It's now a Fox Business contributor. Congressman, good to see you. So you think he exceeded all expectations, and Merry Christmas to you. Does that mean he surpassed low expectations, or he went beyond his very ambitious agenda of promises?
Well, look, in the first 6 months, it was a bit of a rocky start. In part, it was because the Republicans in the House and the Senate were doing a political faceplant. Basically, they were running into each other and defeating each other, even when they didn't need Democratic votes in order to have Republican victories. And so that is less of a blame on President Trump and more on the Republicans having all the levers of power. But somehow, I think, in its own strange way, the failure that was repeal and replace Obamacare got them to collectively come together, be united, and say, we have certain political death if we don't get our act together and pass meaningful tax reform.
Well, I think
the president lived up to everything he was supposed to do.
Republicans got hammered for their failure in repealing fully Obamacare. So it was sort of a wake-up call to them, I think. So, look, everybody's talking about, wow, huge tax cut legislation that was passed. The president signed it into a law. That gives him enormous momentum. That's the word of the day, momentum. Well, you know, you and I know that momentum can be fleeting. It'll evaporate like rainwater on a sunny day. Can he carry this forward?
Well, it gets much more difficult to come January 19th when you have to actually fund the government. They passed this continuing resolution, but I don't think many people are actually happy with that. Republicans want to institute their policies. Democrats want to thwart the activities of the Republicans. And you don't have the reconciliation tool where you only have to get to 50 votes. And so it becomes much more difficult, particularly in the Senate. And then when you take on some of the more contentious discussions like DACA, immigration, and how to fund the government, infrastructure is not going to be as easy as I think the president reports, because we just spent nearly $100 billion on hurricane relief, money that was needed. But at what point do you actually cut some spending?
Right, that's more relief, although some infrastructure rebuilding there that was destroyed. I want to ask you about the breaking news story tonight, happened just a short time ago. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is now going to open an investigation into this report that the Obama administration gave a free pass to the notorious terror group Hezbollah over illicit drug trafficking, cocaine in the U.S., as well as money laundering. What do you make of that?
Well, look, Politico, hats off to them. They've done a pretty amazing report with a lot of verification behind it. It is absolutely warranted because they need to provide Congress the documents that it's been asking for. But it sounds as if within the Department of Justice they were making progress on Hezbollah, which was basically importing cocaine to the United States to help fund other activities. And for that to be put the brakes on it, I mean, that smells it's a lot like Fast and Furious, which we saw at the beginning of the Obama administration. Maybe they didn't learn their lesson. I don't know.
Yeah, how many lives were lost? How many people died of cocaine overdoses at the hands of Hezbollah? And President Obama allegedly said, oh, let's get them a free pass. No big deal. We really care about Iran. So it's pretty stunning report. Let me move on now. Much of the news, of course, this year has been the special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. How concerned are you that this special counsel himself, his team, is riven with conflicts of interest, and the entire investigation is tainted by bias and maybe corruption, and that fairness cannot be achieved?
I think we have moved beyond the idea that bias, which I think is well documented and pretty well understood from very, very senior people on Mueller's team within the Department of Justice. I worry that we're into this collusion category where it's not actually Trump collusion with the Russians. What we're worried about is collusion with the Hillary Clinton campaign and an effort to not only take down Donald Trump, but trying to prop up Hillary Clinton. And then I also worry after the election, what did they do, particularly Bruce Orr and his wife, Nellie, the Fusion GPS angle? I mean, there's so many different facets to this story. And I've got to tell you, it is stunning, and it should worry everybody. That's not what justice looks like in the United States of America.
Does there need to be a reopening of the investigation into the Hillary Clinton email scandal, given what we've learned about Peter Strzok, who changed the language to absolve her, given his role in the Trump-Russia investigation, and then jumping into the Mueller investigation? This is a guy who was sending out texts of hatred and denunciation of President Trump, and at the same time avidly supporting Hillary Clinton. I mean, if he used political bias to interfere in the administration of justice, isn't that obstruction, Congressman?
Well, I have not been a fan. Yes, it is, by the way. I have not been a fan of opening up and putting into place another special counsel. I mean, how's the first one working out? I would hope everybody to understand that inspectors general come with a lot of weight. Michael Horowitz, who is the inspector general at the Department of Justice, has 450 employees, something like $100 million budget. He's been looking at this since January. You have not seen leaks. They've been doing their work, doing their interviews, pouring over 1 million documents. They should be done by the end of the first quarter. And I think that will be the definitive view. It was an investigation that was asked for by myself when I was chairman of the Oversight Committee, and Elijah Cummings, who's the Democrat. We both jointly wanted to see what the inspector general would come up with. Let him do his report. We got to get it out sooner rather than later, but it looks like it's, come March, we should have it.
Do you suspect that the anti-Trump dossier, funded by the Democrats and Hillary Clinton's campaign, was perhaps illegally used to gain a FISA warrant to spy on Trump associates at the hands of the FBI, doing the FISA warrant application and spying, and then used as the basis for launching the Trump-Russia investigation?
Well, certainly, if you listen to Congressman Jim Jordan and others, that has been the question. And when it was put to Director Wray, when it was put to Rosenstein, when it was put to, some very senior people at the Department of Justice, they won't answer that question, which should be the flashing red light that very well may have been. So it's a bogus document funded in part through the Hillary Clinton campaign, Democratic operatives. You have the DNC that's partially involved here you've got questions about that. And nobody seems to want to answer the questions, nor are they giving the House and Senate intel committees the information that they need. Right. Again, another flashing red light.
Yeah, and a cover-up. And look, when a guy says, I know the answer, but I won't tell you, that means the answer is yes, it was used to gain the FISA warrant to spy on Trump associates. Jason Chaffetz, thank you so much for being with us. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
I have a breaking news story. This one comes courtesy of Breitbart.com. And it says that NBC's Tom Winter, Pete Williams, and Ken Delanian reports that Attorney General Jeff Sessions has ordered DOJ prosecutors to interview the FBI agents who investigated possible corruption in the Uranium One deal and its players. that are linked to the Clinton Foundation. You heard it right, folks. According to NBC News, it says that on the orders of Attorney General Jeff Sessions, Justice Department prosecutors have begun asking FBI agents to explain the evidence they found in the now dormant criminal investigation into a controversial uranium deal that critics have linked to Bill and Hillary Clinton, according to multiple law enforcement officials. It says that the interviews with FBI agents are part of the Justice Department's effort to fulfill a promise made by Assistant Attorney General when he made it to Congress last month to examine whether a special counsel was warranted to look into what has become known as the Uranium One deal, according to a senior Justice Department official. It says that at issue, what's going on is that a 2010 transaction in which the Obama administration allowed the sale of U.S. uranium mining facilities to Russia's state atomic energy companies. Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State at the time, and the State Department was one of the 9 agencies that agreed to approve the deal after finding no threat, according to them, that it would impact or there was any threat to U.S. national security. So this is exactly what was being said at the end of that last month, at the beginning of this month. Rosenstein came out and said, yes, we will definitely look into it. Attorney General Jeff Sessions also said, you know what, there's going to be an internal investigation to see if a special counsel is warranted. They both said that. Okay. Now it looks like they're moving forward to going in that direction. Now, will a special prosecutor be assigned to investigate the Uranium One deal? No one knows. Will Attorney General Jeff Sessions recuse himself from this also? No one knows. We reported, I think it was like a month ago, a little bit over a month ago, maybe in October, that according to GOP, according to people within the Republican Party, Attorney General Jeff Sessions was telling people that he was going to recuse himself from anything that had to do with Hillary Clinton. Now, Attorney General Jeff Sessions came out later on and said, no, I never really said that, but, who knows? So he was just really iffy about it. He didn't come out clean and said, no, I did not say that. He was just trying to make himself look good, and he was just surprised that that had leaked out. Now, will he recuse himself? No one knows. We hope that he doesn't. We hope that a special prosecutor comes out and investigates Uranium One and shuts down the Clinton Foundation, throws Hillary Clinton in jail, hopefully, goes after Bill Clinton too because he's part of it. So we hope that all those things happen. But as of